everyone! Today we're going to learn how to make illustrations just like famous picture book author Carle, as seen by all these books. Before we get started, we'll need some supplies. One of the first things we'll need is white blank pieces of paper. We'll need several to make our collage. We'll also need some paint. We'll use red, blue, and yellow. We'll focus on these primary colors because you can make lots of different colors using these three colors. You'll also need a paint palette or a cup or a plate, just anywhere where you can put your paint on. You'll also need a paintbrush, preferably a thick one, but you'll only need one. Next, you'll also need pencil or a marker, which we will use for drawing later. You'll also need some scissors, a glue stick, and some construction paper or some more white blank paper. So let's get started! Now first thing, you will have to lay your table or surface with some newspaper because we don't want to be getting any paint anywhere else. So we'll start by filling up our paint palette or plate or cups with the paint that we have. I will start with some red and we'll just keep on going with the rest of our colors. So we'll put this off to the side and we'll lay down a piece of blank paper. Now don't forget to roll up your sleeves. Now I can start with any color that I want, but right now I think I want to start with some blue. And so what you want to do here is cover your entire piece of paper with the paint that you've chosen. And you're just going to get messy and keep on going. And you want to make sure that you take out globs of that paint. So just pick up lots of paint using your paintbrush and make sure that you cover your entire piece of paper. So now for the fun part, as if it hasn't already happened yet, we're gonna mix some colors. And if you remember, primary colors can mix together to make different colors. So I will mix my yellow with my blue to make some green. And so that's what I'll do here. So now that I've done that, I think I'm pretty happy with this piece of paper. So I'll put this off to the side to let it dry. And now to begin my other pieces of paper, we'll use the same process. Just cover the entire piece of paper with paint and mix the colors and do whatever you want with it. Now for a collage, what we're going to do is take these different pieces of paper, cut them into other pieces, glue them together to make a picture. And now a technique that Carle likes to use is basically splatter painting. And so to do that is you want to take your hand and you're just going to tap your paintbrush on top. And this is where you want to be careful because you might get paint everywhere. And so we can keep on going with other pieces of paper using all the colors and techniques that you want to do. This is your painting, so you can do whatever it is that you want to do. And now, another technique is to use the back of the paintbrush, like so, and start doing a wavy line. Or you can do scribbles, or loops, or zigzags, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. You can do lots of different shapes and textures using this technique here. Now you want to make sure that when you're doing this, that you have enough paint on your paper, because if not, these lines might not even show up at all. So there you have it. Now we'll just keep on going using different colors and techniques and experimenting. Feel free to explore however way and whichever way you want to do it. And again, you want to make sure that you do have enough paint on your paper if you want to make those lines with the back of your paintbrush, because again, those lines might not show up. And so here I am mixing some colors again. Red and yellow, they make orange. And so that's what's happened here on this piece of paper. So now I think I want to experiment using my fingertips. So let's see what happens here if I do this. And you can see that my fingertips are actually making a bit of a mark, or they're actually smudging the colors together. But I also wanted to use the lines and see how I scribbled using the back. And also here's another way to splatter some paint is by taking your fingers and pushing the bristles back on the paintbrush, just like this, or you can even use your thumb. And again, this gets pretty messy, which in art it doesn't matter, but you want to make sure that it doesn't get everywhere, which is why we have all this newspaper. Now that we have all those pieces of paper, it's time to make the caterpillar, or whatever animal or shape or object it is that you want to make. But today we're going to make a caterpillar. So first thing, I'm going to take my greenish piece of paper and flip it over to the back. And the back is what you want to focus on because that's where we'll be drawing our shapes that we'll be cutting out to make our collage. So I'm going to begin by drawing circles for the caterpillar's body, and it doesn't matter if these circles are not the same shape or size, because when we put these circles together, they're going to make a beautiful masterpiece which you have created all on your own. Now let's move on to making the face. For the caterpillar's face, we will need some eyes and a mouth. And so we'll go ahead, choose a different color piece of paper and flip it over, and we'll draw a circle for the eyes, but you want to make sure they're not this big. So that's okay if you make a mistake, because you can try again on another part of the paper, and you can also check to see if it will fit on one of your circles for your body. And so if it does fit, you can go ahead and draw two for the two eyes that the caterpillar has, and a little circle for its little mouth. And so once you're ready, you can go ahead and cut those pieces out. Now if we take a look at the caterpillar, we can see that the caterpillar's eyes has smaller circles, and those are called the pupils. And so we're going to take another piece of paper and again check for the size, and we're going to draw circles that are smaller than those circles that we drew for the eyes earlier. And so you can see that they're smaller. And now I'm also going to draw the antenna, because caterpillars have these things sticking out of their heads called an antenna. Now that we've got all those pieces of the caterpillar all set and ready to go, we're going to take our piece of paper. You can use construction paper, but I think I'll be using blank piece of paper, because on white paper you can see these colors much better. To start, we'll put down the bigger circles and use them for the caterpillar's body. What we'll need to do here is lay each circle slightly on top of one another, and slowly we'll begin to make sort of a line for the caterpillar's long body. Now you can see here that I'm not putting one circle right on top of the other one. I don't want to be covering it, but I also want to make sure that they look like they connect and belong together. It also doesn't matter if your circles didn't make a straight line, because caterpillars like to wiggle and move anyway. Making some circles go up and down make it look like the caterpillar is moving. Now we can glue on the eyes. Remember to glue your bigger circle for the eyes first before sticking the smaller circles onto your page. We'll also stick on the mouth, and the two antennae will go on top of its head. And last, we'll stick on the feet. Now, I drew them the wrong way, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, and it's definitely okay to make them, especially when it comes to art. You can place your feet anywhere you'd like on the caterpillar's body. And once you've glued down your last foot, you can add anything else you'd like to your collage, like a background or some hair on the back of the caterpillar. But that's it! You've finished! Congratulations! You've made your very own Carle inspired collage.